Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay, the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says because of the brave soldiers who guard the borders without sleep, people of country can sleep peacefully and celebrate festivals. Celebrates Diwali with soldiers at Naushera in Jammu and Kashmir. BJP-ruled states cut VAT on diesel and petrol after centre announces sharp reduction in excise duty on fuel. Made in India COVID vaccine, Covaxin, gets WHO approval for emergency use listing. Over 107 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%. Prime Minister Modi to visit Kedarnath in Uttarakhand tomorrow, also to lay foundation stone for multiple projects. Finance Ministry holds review meetings with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Railways to push investment in infrastructure projects and accelerate capital spending. Festival of Lights Diwali is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings on the occasion of Diwali. South African author Damon Galgut bags Booker Prize 2021 for his novel The Promise. Iran to resume nuclear deal talks with the US and 5 other nations in Vienna this month, and in the ICC T20 World Cup 2021 today, Australia to clash with Bangladesh in Dubai and Sri Lanka to take on West Indies in Abu Dhabi. As India created history by administering 100 crore doses of vaccine against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And other news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said, all Jawans are like his family and the country's soldiers are the Suraksha Kavach of Ma Bharati. Addressing the soldiers at Naushera in Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Modi said, it is because of the brave soldiers who guard the borders without sleep. The people inside the country can sleep peacefully and they can celebrate festivals with happiness. Mr. Modi said, he is at Naushera not as a Prime Minister, but as a member of the family of the soldiers.
आप लोग माँ भारती का एक चीता जागता सुरक्षा कवच है। आपके सीने में वो जज्बा है जो 130 करोड़ देशवासियों को भरोसा होता है, वो चैन की नींद सो सकते हैं। आपके सामर्थ्य से देश में शांति और सुरक्षा एक निश्चिंतता होती है, एक विश्वास होता है।
Mr. Modi said he has spent each Diwali with soldiers guarding borders.
आप सभी के बीच आना, जो भाव अपने परिवार के बीच जाकर के होता है, वही भाव मेरे मन में होता है। और जब से मैं इस संवैधानिक जिम्मेवारी को संभाल रहा हूं, आज उसको 20 साल से भी अधिक समय हो गया। बहुत लंबे अरसे तक मुझे देशवासियों ने इस प्रकार की सेवा का मौका दिया। पहले गुजरात वालों ने दिया, अब देशवासियों ने दिया। लेकिन मैंने हर दिवाली सीमा पर तैनात आप मेरे परिवारजनों के बीच बिताई। आज मैं फिर आपके बीच आया हूं, आपसे नई ऊर्जा लेकर के जाऊंगा, नया उमंग लेकर के जाऊंगा, नया विश्वास लेकर के जाऊंगा।
Today's India is Atmanirbhar and Sashakt, and 65% of our defense budget goes into buying defense equipment that is made in India. And we indigenously manufacture advanced defense equipment under the Make in India campaign, the Prime Minister added. Prime Minister Modi said, now, India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. We have come a long way since our independence. He stressed the fact that earlier it used to take years to procure defense equipment for security forces, but the country today stands prepared and ready with the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
आप लोग मां भारती का एक जीता जागता सुरक्षा कवच है। आपके सीने में वो जज्बा है जो 130 करोड़ देशवासियों को भरोसा होता है, वो चैन की नींद सो सकते हैं। आपके सामर्थ्य से देश में शांति और सुरक्षा एक निश्चिंतता होती है, एक विश्वास होता है। आप
Mr. Modi said, young India is flourishing with startups that are doing wonders, and soon we will emerge as major defense exporters.
उत्तर प्रदेश और तमिलनाडु में बन रहे डिफेंस कॉरिडोर इस स्पीड को और तेज करने वाले हैं। ये सारे कदम जो आज हम उठा रहे हैं वो भारत के सामर्थ्य के साथ साथ डिफेंस एक्सपोर्टर के रूप में हमारी पहचान को भी सशक्त करने वाले हैं।
The Prime Minister also lauded women soldiers. He said, the role of women in the area of security of the nation is touching newer heights. The women are being given permanent commission in the army now. Mr. Modi said, connectivity in border areas has improved, be it from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh, Jaisalmer to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This has helped us enhance our deployment capability, he reiterated. He said that he had spent each Diwali with soldiers guarding our borders. Today, he has brought along with himself the blessings of crores of Indians for our soldiers at Naushera at Jammu and Kashmir. The Prime Minister fondly remembered the brave hearts of surgical strikes. Giving a strong warning to terror sponsors, the Prime Minister said terrorists made many attempts to disrupt peace in Jammu and Kashmir, but all were thwarted by our forces.
नौशेरा ने हर युद्ध का, हर छद्म का, हर षड्यंत्र का माकूल जवाब देकर कश्मीर और श्रीनगर के प्रहरी का काम किया। आजादी के तुरंत बाद ही दुश्मनों ने इस पर नजर घड़ा करके रखी। नौशेरा पर हमला हुआ, दुश्मनों ने ऊंचाई पर बैठकर इस पर कब्जा जमाने की कोशिश की और मुझे खुशी है कि नौशेरा के जाबाजों के शौर्य के सामने सारी साजिश से धरी की धरी रह गई। भारतीय सेना की ताकत क्या होती है, इसका एहसास दुश्मन को शुरुआत के दिनों में ही लग गया। मैं नमन करता हूं नौशेरा के शेर ब्रिगेडियर मोहम्मद उस्मान को, नायक जदुनाथ सिंह जी को, जिन्होंने देश की रक्षा के लिए अपना सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया। मैं प्रणाम करता हूं लेफ्टिनेंट आर राणे को, जिन्होंने भारतीय सेना की जीत का रास्ता प्रशस्त किया था।
Mr. Modi is in Jammu's Naushera to celebrate Diwali with soldiers. This is the Prime Minister's second visit to Rajouri since 2019, when he had also celebrated Diwali with soldiers. Army General M.M. Narvane is also in Naushera. Prime Minister Modi also paid floral tributes to the martyrs at Naushera. The Prime Minister offered sweets personally to soldiers on the occasion and also had lunch with the brave hearts at the border. Festival of Lights Diwali is being celebrated across the country with traditional fervour and gaiety today. The festival, which marks the victory of good over evil, is celebrated by lighting up houses, temples and other public places. People also worship the goddess of wealth Lakshmi on the occasion.
Om Mahalakshmyai Namo Namaha, Om Vishnu Priyayai Namo Namaha, Om Dhanapradayai Namo Namaha, Om Vishwajananyai Namo Namaha. Om Mahalakshmyai Namo Namaha, Om Vishnu Priyayai Namo Namaha, Om Dhanapradayai Namo Namaha, Om Vishwajananyai Namo Namaha.
The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister have greeted the people on the occasion of Diwali.
Around 2,800 personnel of the Delhi Fire Service have been deployed in the national capital today on the occasion of Diwali. Director of Delhi Fire Services Atul Garg said they have made extensive preparations to handle fire calls during the festival. He said as many as 30 additional fire posts have also been set up across the city to handle distress calls. Ayodhya's Deepotsav made it to the Guinness World Records last night after the Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department displayed over 9 lakh oil lamps along the banks of river Sharyu as part of grand Diwali celebrations in the holy city. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took to Twitter and shared the certificate of Guinness World Record for the largest display of oil lamps. Uttar Pradesh government has decided to extend the PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana PMGKY till Holi next year. State government will also add other household items to make the scheme more beneficial for the people.
After the centre's decision to cut excise duty on petrol and diesel, several BJP and NDA-ruled states announced reduction in value-added tax VAT on fuel to further provide relief to consumers. The centre yesterday announced slashing of excise duty on petrol by 5 rupees and on diesel by 10 rupees. The centre had also urged the states to reduce the VAT on petrol and diesel. Hours after the announcement, governments of several BJP-ruled states including Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Assam, Goa, Tripura, Karnataka, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur and Bihar declared reduction in VAT on fuel. Uttar Pradesh government said that the prices of diesel and petrol in the state will be reduced by 12 rupees per litre. Talking exclusively with AIR News, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar said that his government will soon announce reduction in VAT on petrol and diesel.
केंद्र सरकार का मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ, धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि उन्होंने एक्साइज ड्यूटी में से रेट कम करके और एक दिवाली का गिफ्ट देश की जनता को दिया है। हम भी हरियाणा में का विचार करके आज सायंकाल तक निश्चित रूप से एक रेट की जो हमारी वैट की है उसमें कम करके जनता को गिफ्ट देंगे। जो भी डीजल का पेट्रोल का उपयोग करते हैं वो किसान भी हैं, वो यात्री भी हैं और वाहन चालक जितने भी हैं, यानी चाहे गुड्स के जो वाहन हैं उनको, अपने वाहन चलाने वालों को इसका असर जो है व्यापक जाएगा।
The World Health Organization (WHO) has granted approval for emergency use listing (EUL) to India's indigenously made COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin, which has been developed and manufactured by Bharat Biotech. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia greeted the scientists of Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) and Bharat Biotech on the approval of the Made in India vaccine.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत का संकल्प सिद्ध हुआ है। भारत के वैज्ञानिकों के द्वारा निर्मित संशोधित कोवैक्सीन को WHO ने अप्रूवल दिया है। इसलिए मैं भारत के हमारे ICMR के साइंटिस्ट, भारत बायोटेक के वैज्ञानिक और भारत बायोटेक कंपनी को मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
Over 107 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID vaccine has been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Union Health Ministry said more than 30 lakh 90,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. The ministry said 15,054 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours and the national recovery rate stands at 98.23%. Till now, more than 3 crore 37 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19.
The Union government has said that more than 616 crore COVID vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. The Health Ministry today said that more than 15 crore 20 lakh unutilized vaccine doses are still available with states, UTs and private hospitals to be administered. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Kedarnath in Uttarakhand tomorrow. He will offer prayers at the Kedarnath temple and inaugurate Sri Adi Shankaracharya Samadhi and unveil the statue of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. The Samadhi has been reconstructed after the destruction in the 2013 floods. Mr. Modi will also review and inspect the executed and ongoing works along the Saraswati Asthapat. He will also address a public rally and inaugurate key infrastructure projects which have been completed at a cost of over 130 crore rupees. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for multiple projects worth over 180 crore rupees. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami said all preparations are in place in view of the Prime Minister's visit to Kedarnath tomorrow.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says because of the brave soldiers who guard the borders without sleep, people of country can sleep peacefully and celebrate festivals. Celebrates Diwali with soldiers at Naushera in Jammu and Kashmir. BJP-ruled states cut VAT on diesel and petrol after centre announces sharp reduction in excise duty on fuel. Made in India COVID vaccine, Covaxin gets WHO approval for emergency use listing. Over 107 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%. Prime Minister Modi to visit Kedarnath in Uttarakhand tomorrow, also to lay foundation stone for multiple projects. Finance Ministry holds review meetings with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Railways to push investment in infrastructure projects and accelerate capital spending. Festival of Lights Diwali has been celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings on the occasion of Diwali. South African author Damon Galgut books the Booker Prize 2021 for his novel The Promise. Iran to resume nuclear deal talks with the US and 5 other nations in Vienna this month. And in the ICC T20 World Cup 2021 today, Australia to clash with Bangladesh in Dubai and Sri Lanka to take on West Indies in Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this valiant struggle every day.
In today's episode, we commemorate the birth anniversary of the great freedom fighter Vasudev Balwant Phadke. Born on November 4th, 1845 in Shirdhon village of Raigad district, Maharashtra, Phadke was moved by the plight of the farming community and believed that Swaraj was the only remedy for their sufferings.
He is popularly referred to as the father of Indian armed rebellion.
Despite being an employee of the military finance office in Pune, Phadke used to roam around the streets of Pune in Maharashtra during the mid-1870s with a thali and ladle in his hands and calling out, "Our country must be free and the Englishmen must be driven out."
On Sundays, he used to travel to neighboring areas of Pandel, Palaspe, Tasgaon and Narsobachivadi to address the masses, and was apparently the first Indian to tour for public awareness, calling for the ouster of the British. On February the 20th, 1879, Phadke and his colleagues like Vishnu Gadre, Gopal Sathe, Ganesh Deodhar and Gopal Hari Karve declared the formation of their 200-strong militia outside Loni, 8 miles north of Pune. Phadke's team undertook some daring operations in the vicinity of Bombay and later in Konkan region.
In May 1879, Phadke issued his famous proclamation denouncing the exploitative economic policies of the British government. Copies of the proclamation were posted to the governor, collectors and other government officers.
The Times London on June the 3rd, 1879 carried a long editorial on the Phadke phenomenon. Later, when the Britishers tightened their grip, Phadke fled Maharashtra and tried to reorganize a fresh revolution with Rohilla and 6 in Nizam's forces, but his plans ended with his arrest on July the 20th, 1879.
Phadke was sent to a jail in Aden, Yemen, because the British feared the Indian public's reaction to his arrest. He died while on a hunger strike on February 17, 1883.
Vasudev Balwant Phadke died at the age of 37 years, but he paved the way for organized, armed movement for the independence of India. We also remember industrialist and Gandhian Jamnalal Kaniram Bajaj, who was born on the 4th of November 1889, founder of the Bajaj Group of Companies in 1920s. He was a close associate of Mahatma Gandhi, who is known to have often declared that Jamnalal was his
Jamnalal believed in Mahatma Gandhi's vision that homemade goods were the answer to India's poverty. He gave up the title of Rai Bahadur conferred on him by the British government and joined the non-cooperation movement in 1921.
Later, in 1923, he participated in the Flag Satyagraha, defying a ban on flying the national flag in Nagpur, and was detained by the British forces.
He fought the non-admission of so-called untouchables into Hindu temples in his hometown of Wardha, as orthodox Hindu priests and Brahmins objected. He opened his own family temple, the Lakshmi Narayan Mandir in Wardha, for the so-called untouchables in 1928. In honor of his social initiatives, the Jamnalal Bajaj Award has been instituted by the Bajaj Foundation. We salute this great industrialist freedom fighter. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In our Parikrama program, AIR News will broadcast a special roundup on unsung heroes of Indian freedom movement in our series Veer Gatha at 4:45 p.m.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में बृहस्पतिवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सेनानियों की वीर गाथा।
The Finance Ministry held review meetings with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the Ministry of Railways to push investment in infrastructure projects and accelerate capital spending. During the meeting held in New Delhi yesterday, they reviewed the progress of capital expenditure, implementation of infrastructure projects, and asset monetization plans. Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Durga Shankar Mishra, expressed confidence of achieving the National Infrastructure Pipeline NIP capital expenditures target of over 3 lakh crore rupees in 2022. Chairman Railway Board Suneet Sharma highlighted that freight loading has increased by more than 21% compared to last year, and it has achieved 92% of NIP capital expenditures targets set for this financial year. He also expressed hope of meeting the NIP capital expenditure targets of over 2 lakh crore rupees during the current fiscal.
South African author Damon Galgate has won the 2021 Booker Prize for fiction for his novel The Promise. 57-year-old Galgate has won the award in his third appearance on the shortlist after making the cut in 2003 and 2010. He follows in the footsteps of other South African winners Nadine Gordimer and J.M. Kudze, and is the first winner from the country since 1999.
Talks aimed at reviving the landmark 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and 6 other nations are to resume this month. Iran's chief negotiator Ali Bagheri Kani, in a Twitter post yesterday, said Iran had agreed to start the negotiations aiming at removal of unlawful and inhumane sanctions on the 29th of November in Vienna. The discussions have been on hold since the election of Iran's new hardline president in June. The US pulled out of the deal under President Donald Trump, but Washington has since said it could consider rejoining. The Biden administration said it will attend the Vienna meet along with the remaining signatories, the UK, China, France, Germany and Russia.
In the ICC T20 World Cup 2021, Australia will take on Bangladesh in Dubai at 3:30 p.m., while Sri Lanka will clash with West Indies in Abu Dhabi at 7:30 p.m. Yesterday, India thrashed Afghanistan by 66 runs in a do-or-die Super 12 encounter at Abu Dhabi to keep their hopes alive.
With the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP26, taking place in Glasgow, All India Radio brings you a ready reckoner every day. Under the COP26 Explainer series, we bring you daily the terms and concepts in use during the conference. Today we talk about India's net zero target of 2070. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced at COP26 in Glasgow that India will not emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere by 2070, or in other words, become a net zero emitter. The announcement has reinforced India's commitment to climate action for a clean and green planet Earth. The move will help in reduction of greenhouse gases that cause warming of the Earth. The US, China and the EU are among the most prominent emitters of greenhouse gases. Director Energy and Environment at RTI International, Dr. Gaurav Bhatiani, told All India Radio that India's net zero target of 2070 is a visionary move.
India's net zero target for 2070 is a visionary move. It reinforces India's global leadership and is consistent with Mahatma Gandhi's message. That is, the world has enough for everyone's needs, but not enough for everyone's greed. Clean energy and adaptation programs create green jobs, reduce the risk for the poor and vulnerable, while simultaneously protecting our environment for the future generations. Children and the youth can be the torch bearers. I am confident that you will rise to the occasion to save the earth, the only home that we have.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky with smoke. The minimum temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be 29 degrees. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky at recorded a minimum temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be 35 degrees. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be nearly 29 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. The city noted a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be 31 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature is 2 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 17 degrees. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature is 12 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 28 degrees. Leh will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between -4 and 7 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Temperature will vary between 3 and 20 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Visakhapatnam will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, because of the brave soldiers who guard the borders without sleep, people of the country can sleep peacefully and celebrate festivals. Celebrates Diwali with soldiers at Naushera in Jammu and Kashmir. BJP-ruled states cut VAT on diesel and petrol after centre announces sharp reduction in excise duty on fuel. Made in India COVID vaccine, Covaxin, gets WHO approval for emergency use listing. Over 107 crore 66 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.23%. Prime Minister Modi to visit Kedarnath in Uttarakhand tomorrow, also to lay foundation stone for multiple projects. Finance Ministry holds review meetings with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Railways to push investment in infrastructure projects and accelerate capital spending. Festival of Lights Diwali is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend greetings on the occasion of Diwali. South African author Damon Galgut books Booker Prize 2021 for his novel The Promise. Iran to resume nuclear deal talks with the US and 5 other nations in Vienna this month. In the ICC T20 World Cup 2021 today, Australia to clash with Bangladesh in Dubai and Sri Lanka to take on West Indies in Abu Dhabi. With that, we end the midday news.